Well, you all, hello. It is Tease. Good day. Good afternoon, good evening. I hope all are well. I hope all are safe. So, last night I was watching a video of a Haitian lady, and I'm not talking about the one who said dirty black Americans, because Haitians, they're not the only ones guilty of talking shit about the American Negroes, because every nation is guilty of it, including the American niggers. But she had a few points where I was like, okay, you know what? Although she's talking shit, she has a point, and she was right. So she was basically saying, you American Negroes, you say you're the owner of America, but yet you're getting murdered on your own land. You say that you're the inventors and the what is it, the leading hands or the owners or something like that, but yet, like, not only are you getting murdered on your own land, but you don't own anything, you don't run anything, and you don't control anything. And so those points there, I was like, okay, well, although you're talking shit, you have a really good point, because we don't own anything as far as collective. I'm not talking about being a quote-unquote black business owner to where you're the only one benefit. I mean, like, literally the whole nation. Like, as far as running certain things, like, okay, do you have a Negro grocery store? Where's the Negro banks? Where are the Negro airlines? Where's the Negro water supply? Where are the Negro food? You see what I'm saying? So we do rely on, that's why I remember when they had the EBT crisis, oh, we're gonna shut down EBT. And then they had AI generate videos to say, like, oh, well, the niggers are gonna act a fool if they can't go into Walmart and steal. They're gonna go into Walmart and go in these stores acting a fool because we need those food stamps. And we obviously need the food because we ain't doing it. So when she said stuff like, okay, all you're doing is getting murdered on your own land and you don't run or control anything or own, like, as far as collectively, I'm not saying that, because anybody can be a business owner. Like I say, I'm a business owner. That's just individualized. I mean, like, okay, my business is for the American Negroes. Like, okay, I have Negro Mart instead of Walmart, Negro Mart, you know. So I'm thinking that's what she was talking about. Because, I mean, anybody could be a business owner, but it's like, what are you controlling collectively as far as through the country? Do you control what goes in and out of the country? So that's what she was pretty. I'm like, okay, well, that's actually a really good point. And then she said another thing, too, that the Negroes are afraid of pink people. That's what she was saying. She said, you American Negroes, y'all are scared of the pink man. That's why y'all are getting murdered. That's why y'all don't run anything. And obviously y'all ain't gonna do nothing but just get laid out in the streets. And I'm thinking, like, now, is that part true? Are the niggers afraid of pink people? I would say, I wouldn't go as far as saying that we are afraid of pink people, but I will do the science and say that maybe most American Negroes are used to being owned. And if I could do the science behind that, because a lot of people go, I ain't no slave, I didn't come from slavery. Now, one of my testimonies are, at least on one side of our family, we didn't come from slavery, or we wasn't kidnapped and brought here, like the story that they tell everybody, which is human trafficking, but notice how no one got vindicated for that. So they'll tell you were kidnapped, human trafficked, and exploited, and used up for all your work, and they put it all in the history books, and no American nigger gets justice for it. And I'm thinking that's because it's BS. That's a BS story that they pulled out of their ass to tell you that you came from Africa while you're being colonized. So basically, while you're getting colonized, we're just gonna tell you, oh, well, you got colonized because you came from Africa. But the only catch with us, they say we came or got stolen from Africa, but yet we can't be deported to Africa because we're not exactly from Africa. That's probably why. You know, because if you really just do the break down the science of it, if I legitly was kidnapped from Africa, where's the justice for the human trafficking and the exploitation and then the identity theft? That means I don't know who I am. I don't know my African roots. Don't even know which part of the Africa I was stolen. You see what I'm saying? It's a huge rabbit hole if we do believe that lie. But I'm thinking they only told us because that's going to be your new reality. You're going to go from being the rightful owner, the rightful rulers, to now you are the slaves, the nigger slaves. You see what I'm saying? You got a whole new name and a whole new occupation. So if you ask, are the American niggers afraid of pink people? I would say no. I would say a part of the American Negroes are used to being owned, because here in America, you are a slave. Everybody in America, not just the niggers, everybody are slaves. Because the way America is set up to generate slaves. That's the whole point of going to school and to work, to be a slave. Not to be successful, not to make money, not to make it up out the hood. It's to be a slave. Because even your highest paid occupation, those are slaves. You work for somebody. And if the second you don't come to work or second you don't do what you're supposed to do, you're back at ground zero. And that's the punishment. Because you are a slave. Okay? When you go to school, you are to shut up, do what they tell you to do, and get the training that they want you to do to work on these particular jobs. You go to a school to be trained to be a doctor, to shut up and put in the work for the medical field. So everyone in America, or the way the system of America is set up, it is set up to generate slaves. Orange, black, purple, brown, green, whatever, and whoever you are, if you're in America, you are a fucking slave. If you're paying taxes, working and paying bills, you are a slave, okay, to say the least. So you don't have to put in hard labor. You don't have to get the whips and the lashes. The way this American system is set up, it's set up to generate slaves. So I'm thinking one part of it, the reason why the quote-unquote blacks aren't kicking back, because they're so used to being owned. So they had that slavery mentality. Hey, where's my overseer? Hey, isn't somebody supposed to whip me into shape? Hey, where's the banker that I'm supposed to give all my riches to? Where's Massa? You see what I'm saying? So we had that mindset thinking that you have to have an overseer every damn way you go. Another part is, instead of the blacks being afraid of pink people, I'm thinking, or of other nations, I believe the blacks are afraid of power or don't know what to do with the power. You know, how can I explain that? So let's say if you give the niggers power, either individually or collectively, the niggers collectively, most of them, they can't wait to abuse their power. So that's one way of how you can get rid of it. Second, you abuse your power, it's going to fly out the window, because it's like, that's going to create a rabbit hole or create a monster to where it's going to be a problem that's going to destroy themselves. And that's literally what happened to, actually, hold on, let me do part two. So the first one, the niggers can't wait to abuse their power, and then also on the other hand, you collectively give the niggers a bunch of power or give them all the power, then they can't wait to give the power back. Okay, that's another thing. Like, for instance, if I become a billionaire, I'm going to give it to to other nations, so to speak, based off of my spending. When it comes to the American Negroes, every nation comes around the Negroes because they know that they're going to get funded well through the Negroes. Again, if I got $1, he got $1, and Jamal got $1, we're all going to give it to other nations, okay, before we give it to each other. So when it comes to the power, Negroes, when the lady who said, the Haitian lady said, oh, well, y'all, the American niggers are afraid of pink people. No, I'm thinking the American niggers are afraid of power. There's a huge difference. Now, we're not scared of no pink people. Probably afraid of power, though, because A, I don't know what to do with the power, which is why I abuse it, or I don't want to know what to do with it, which is why I give it away. Because if you look at the science again, go to your millionaire and billionaire athletes, look at your actors, actresses, look at your politicians, look at all of them, your Negroes on TV and on the ground, and then look how they handle their wealth and their riches. If they're not abusing their power, they're giving it away. They're rendering it over. Like, for instance, with Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, who's the other one? Michael Jackson, probably even Prince. Or we'll even go as far as saying, if you get too big for your britches, maybe I guess you can call that abuse. I'll throw that in the abuse of power, even though, yeah, I guess getting too big for your britches, it might be innocent to us, but that's called abuse to power when it comes to the overseers. Like, for instance, with Bill Cosby or Michael Jackson, when they want to get so big, oh, hey, I think I want to take over networks. Remember what the lady said, you don't own anything? Hey, I think I want to own this network. And then they come up short, or then they got a scandal attached to them. So I'm thinking that's what it is. Not necessarily afraid of white people, they're afraid of the power, holding on to it. Because you get, like, again, you get too big for your britches, you just may come up short. And I'm thinking the problem with that is, another huge issue that the Negroes have is creating our own lane. I'm thinking we want to climb in bed with Disney and then take over Disney. And I'm thinking that's the problem. Create your own create niggerney. You see what I'm saying? Even with when what's his name? I don't know if it was Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton, one of those, when they said, okay, let's do the boycott. We're gonna leave Walmart, we're gonna leave Target, and then go to Costco. So that's basically what they were saying is you're gonna leave the frying pan and go to the blender, or leave the blender and go jump into the frying pan. It's like, that's not going east from west. That's not, no. So I'm thinking that's another thing that the niggers have really bad. You want to get in bed with other major companies and then take over that, just like how what Bill Cosby did. I want to say Michael Jordan and Michael Jackson, they were guilty of the same thing. You want to climb in bed with these record labels and these broadcasting companies, and then you want to take over because, like I say, you get so big for your britches. You think you, and now Diddy did the same thing with the liquor, alcohol. Get so big for your britches, and then you think you can bite the hand that done fed you. I'm thinking if you create your own lane, that might be a little bit safer than trying to take over ABC, or trying to take over Disney, or trying to take over the music industry. Create your own lane, because they're already going to be intimidated by you, just by you being you, knowing that you're capable of anything. So even when you have nothing, you are a threat, let alone if you're getting big. So that's why I say, maybe if you create your own lane, like I say, instead of doing, okay, we're gonna leave one frying pan to another, we're gonna create nigger mart. And I think when you create your own lane, then that's when you can have real growth. And I'm thinking with these successful blacks, they only get taken out because they try to take over, get way too big for the britches. Like I say, Prince, Michael Jackson, Bill Cosby, there's a few other ones, they're guilty of that. Getting so big for their britches, then they think they're gonna take over. You're gonna replace massa. I'm not saying that you can't, but you have to do it from your own lane. Again, Walmart has Walmart, and then we have nigger mart. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna climb in bed with Walter Walmart and then think I'm gonna take over. Oh, now it's nigger owned. No, it don't work like that. And that's how you come up short. And then that's how you get brought back down to your britches, because it's like you're getting too big for your britches now. Now you're stepping on my toes, and I'm thinking that's the problem. So the young lady, or the Haitian lady who said, oh, well, the niggers are afraid of pink people. No, I'm thinking they're afraid of power and what to do with it. Because I've seen niggers in power, and they, almost all the time, they abuse their power, and then almost all the time do they hand it back over by losing their power, or literally handing it over. Like doing suicidal moves. Not literally, but let's say, for instance, like, okay, I'm going to get into a scandal that's going to cost me every dime. Or I'm going to climb in bed with my oppressor, and then the second I try to walk away, that's going to cost me every dime. So I would say it's a mixture between abuse of power, thinking you can do what you want to do, or thinking the rules don't apply to you, or having too much power to where not only do you not know what to do with it, but you feel obligated to hand your power over because you're so used to being owned due to the slave mentality. And again, you don't have to be a slave. I ain't a slave, I didn't come from slavery. That's one of my testimonies. I didn't come from no damn slaves, but I can promise you, as long as I'm in America, I am a slave. I am a slave. Because the way America is set up, it's like you're supposed to be, it's like you're capped. There's a cap here. You know, that's why, haven't you noticed, like for instance, if I go to the Ritz-Carlton, or I go to the, one of those, the rich sides of where they have those rich area codes, like where it's only the elite, only millionaires and billionaires stay, because everything is area codes down. Like apparently downtown LA, that's where the poor people stay. And where all the businesses, you see the nice stuff around, this is poor people. But on another side of town, that's where the rich people are. So if I call myself going to where the millionaires and billionaires are, they're going to want to see some ID. Like how could you, mind you, I could be the owner of the entire zip code area. But the way America is set up, there should be no niggers over here. That's the whole point of having security. That's the whole point of having a zip code. That's the whole point of having certain number systems to enforce the Jim Crow era. You know, so again, the way America is set up, you and everyone else are going to have questions. Like I say, if I become, or if I am, come to find out I am the owner of America, or I am the president, or I am a billionaire, everybody and their mamas from here and from overseas going, how the heck did that nigger woman get that? Because the way America is set up is you're supposed to be in the doomed to the hood. You're supposed to be bound on food stamps, not the owner or the ruler of the world. You see what I'm saying? So just simply on that aspect, me being simply being a homeowner on a nice side of town, or simply being the CEO or the president, everybody's gonna have questions. How the heck did this dark-skinned slave nigger woman, everybody gonna have questions like, what? I thought they couldn't read. You know what I mean? It's gonna be so many questions because, hey, I thought we had it set up to where y'all can't read. Who taught you how to, you know what I'm saying? People are gonna have questions based off of how America is ran. So that's what that's about. We're living in a criminal country ran by criminals. And well, that's another thing too. We like to say, oh, they or the invisible entity, or that's the system. No, it's the people. It's the people. Because we like to blame the sorcery on an invisible entity. Oh, that's just the way it is. That's the system. But no, it's up to the people to keep the racism or to keep those no nigger signs out. Because if you look around and you do the science behind every person, you go to your most racist side of town and your most not quote unquote racist side of town, it's going to be the people that's going to show you how they get down in these areas, So for instance, if I call myself going to the like 90210 or better, that's like up there in the quote unquote like Beverly Hills and all that, which isn't the most pristine. It's not the most pristine because there's some parts where it's closed off, where it's like, yeah, you're not even allowed to step foot on the street of these area codes on public ground, because let them tell it it's private. Certain people ain't. So again, if I come myself going up there, everybody, including the Karens, including the Kens, are gonna know, are you lost? What are you doing here? Let me see your badge. Let me see some ID. That's why when they have Karens, you got these Karen men and women want to come around when they see blacks or people that look like they don't belong or look like they can't afford to be here. They do that because in America, we have a system, which is the people set up in place to keep you in your place, So it's not an invisible entity. It ain't demons. These are actual people doing this, keeping this shit alive. Okay, so that's what that is, and that's all it takes is for us to put in the work. So like I say, we can do the same thing. You can be those actual people snatching your power back and then telling people, you know what? Yeah, we're actually going to take over this department the same way they took over your department. But like I say, nobody thinks like that. We're too individualized. Like I say, the way I think, I promise you, it's just me or a pigeon that think like this. The average everyday nigger does not think like this. And the reason why I say Negro or nigga, because first of all, you know who and what I'm talking about. This is America and abroad. So it's one of those things where, for those, I'm unsubscribing. You said nigger. Well, first of all, welcome to America, and then second of all, you know exactly who and what I'm talking about here in America and overseas. So it's one of those things where people want to play dumb and act like they're so politically correct. Like, no, the people are the problem. You are the problem, okay? And you are the one keeping this system alive. The one where they say, oh, it's racism. The racism ain't going nowhere because the people ain't going nowhere. As long as they're raggedy ass people in this world, racism is going to be right along with it. So that's what I'm saying. So until we clean up our acts, it ain't nothing going to change. It ain't. But hopefully we learned something. And as I mentioned, here in America, all Americans are slaves, just by design, the way the system is set up. You put to work, pay bills, and shut the hell up and be controlled. That's slavery. I work hard to give you my taxes. I work hard to give you my money, just so I keep doing this shit every freaking day. That's slavery. You're not free. Because let you not work, let you not pay taxes, there will be consequences. And you'll have nothing. You'll go back to nothing. Just like what they're working on right now. They want to work down, stripping everybody down to nothing, and then therefore you'll be grateful to have my pig bits that I give to you when you're hungry. Okay? So we're getting thrown right back into physical slavery. You go from talking about it, and you go back to physical slavery. But they keep it up the way they're going. Anyway, all right, be well.